Hello, Americans. I'm Paul Harvey. You know what the news is. In a minute, you're going to hear the rest of the story. Now, the rest of the story. The plans had been set and the right people had been paid off. So under the cover of night, the small band of frightened fugitives crossed the Polish border into Lithuania. Leib and his wife Kaya heard the shots being fired at them and turned and saw the Nazi helmets in the pale moonlight, but they kept running. A waiting car, part of the escape plan, scooped them up and roared away. They kept driving until they reached a farmhouse. There was barely enough time for a little food and less rest before the soldiers arrived. "What have you here?" one of them barked at the farmer. And then he took Kaya's delicate face in his hand, and he turned her face aside, examining the profile. "No, not Jewish," he told his comrades. And as brusquely as they had stormed in, they were gone. But they were Jewish. They were Jewish, you see, those daring to run from Hitler, and they kept running. Not far enough. For at some point on the long road to freedom, Leib and Kaya found themselves trapped in a ghetto in an occupied city along with thousands of Polish and Russian and German and Austrian refugees. Isolated from the country's economy, the captives bartered among themselves to stay alive. Food and medicine were scarce. Regular roundups ensured that those subjugated knew their place. Numerous times, Leib was dragged off and thrown into a cell in which several others might die during the night. But one bright morning, after 7 years in that ghetto, Leib and Kaya walked out into a new, free world. By 1947, they had reached California. They would settle in Los Angeles, the three of them. For you see, 2 years previous, in that hell of intimidation and uncertainty, a child had been born to the couple, a beautiful, brilliant boy, a boy who would remember forever after his youth amid the year-round blooming roses, and hear the tales of that terrible time that he could not recall. Even more vivid in the boy's memory would be the other refugees who had found their way to California, the friends with whom his parents gathered and sang the songs of their lost countries, and that wonderful Russian gypsy who played piano in the Ublitsky restaurant, where waiters in red tunics and sashes brought flaming lamb from the kitchen on silver trays. That gypsy pianist one day would teach that child to play. It was only the beginning of a lifetime love affair with music for Leib and Kaya's son, young Misha Dichter. Misha Dichter, of course you've heard of him. But the next time you reflect on that 20-year-old lad who returned from Moscow in 1966 with the Tchaikovsky competition's silver medal in his pocket, who went on to establish one of the world's most enduring concert careers, I hope you'll remember, too, his parents, the parents who once ran from the Third Reich all the way to the rising sun, to a ghetto for European Jews in Axis-occupied Shanghai. For it initially perplexes new acquaintances to hear that master pianist Misha Dichter, with the movie star handsome European face, is Chinese. But that is so. Only now you know the rest of the story.